Children, let us continue with chapter number 5, man-made and the natural disasters, types of man-made disaster. Now we have created the force that continuously destroys the environment and cause loss of the lives too. Now the difference between the natural and the man-made disaster is the human being, maybe intentionally or with negligence, lead to human suffering and environmental damage. So let us go through it one by one. The first one, fire and explosions. Industrial fires, they are very frequently occurring than the explosions and the toxic releases. Then fire, it is the major hazard in the industries, and it causes more accidents than the explosions and all. The example of this is the Bhopal gas tragedy, where more than 5 lakh people, they were exposed to this chemical that was given out by the industry. Then chemical, biological and radiological accidents. Now CBR materials as well as the industrial agents, they can travel in the air as a gas or as the surface where we can come physically in contact with it, and it can lead to disastrous events, maybe chemical disasters, or the biological disasters can be such, radiological disasters as such as happened in the Bhopal gas tragedy and in Russia Ukraine Chernobyl disaster. Then the anthrax attack in United States, and then the on September 29 in Russia, the radiation that was given out in the nuclear fuel reprocessing plant in Soviet Union. Disaster management. Let us go through this concept now. Disaster management, we can define it as the organization and management of the resources and responsibilities for dealing with the humanitarian aspects of emergencies, in particularly preparedness, response and recovery, in order to lessen the impact of disasters. So it is very important, and it is a very dynamic, it is a very fast process. It is made up of the classical management of the functions of the planning, then organizing, staffing, leading and controlling, and it also involves many organizations that must work together to prevent, to mitigate, to prepare and to respond to and recover from the various effects that the disaster might bring with it. Let us go through disaster management cycle. Now, it is the integrated approach that will be evolved towards the management of the disaster, and emphasis will be laid on building up the strategic partnership at the various level, like the community based disaster management that will include the last mile integration of the policy planning and execution, then capacity development in all the spheres, consolidation of the past initiatives that were taken, the work that was taken and the best practice that was discovered then out, cooperation with the various of the agencies at the national and then at the international level, multi-sectorial synergy. The components of the disaster management, we can understand it if we have the following of the heading with us, like the preparedness, the activities prior to the disaster that involves the preparedness plan. So we have to be prepared in hand. If such and such accident it happens, there has to be certain amount of the training, the warning systems. Then response involved what are the activities that is to be performed during the disaster, maybe the public warning system that will be utilized, emergency operators, search rescue missions operations. Then recovery activities following the disaster, for example maybe the temporary houses that are required, then the long-term, short-term medical care, counseling that is required. Then mitigation and reduction. We have to look for the activities that will not only rescue the effects of the disaster, but they will also build up the codes and the zoning, the vulnerability of the people that will be analyzed, and public education awareness it will be made. So these are the certain steps that is involved in the disaster management cycle. Importance of the disaster management. Now, disaster management, that is very important to survive in the occurrence of the disaster. What can be done? We can minimize casualties. We can prevent any further casualties that might affect the people. We can give the first aid, we can evacuate people from the areas that are affected, medical care can be given, reconstruction that is required, it can be done. Safety measures to be taken during the natural disasters. First, let us go through the floods. What are the safety measures that we can take before the flood that has happened? Now, we can monitor the surrounding, we can listen to the radio or to the TV, we can stay away from the low areas. Then we can identify the place where we can go. Now, during the time of the flood, we have to monitor our surroundings. Then we have to follow the recommendations that has been done by the government for the evacuation. We have to stall the vehicles. We have to abandon it. If the water it rises where we are, then we have to reach to the higher grounds. After the flood, we have to wait for a little time till the time authorities they announce that it is now safe to enter the area. All right, we have to wait there. Then we have to check for any of the structural damage that has been done in the area or not. Then we have to seek the medical care. We cannot ignore it. We have to stay out of the building also. At the time of the earthquake, because earthquake is whatever the energy that is stored inside the earth, it is given out. Okay, the rocky surface, it all moves, so whatever that is present on the surface of the earth, it will also move. Now we have divided India, we have divided into 4 of the seismic zones. Now in case the earthquake it occurs, now what are the safety measures to be taken in case of the earthquake? Before the earthquake, we cannot do because it is very sudden and we cannot most of the time predict it. But even then, we can take the professional help in making the home more sturdy. All right, and we can avoid all things which can fall down very easily. We can make the ceilings very strong. We can locate the place in the house where we can go in case the earthquake it comes. We should turn the gas and the water main lines. We can keep the first aid safety kit ready in case, then maybe the evacuation route that is for the building, we have to know that during the earthquake when the tremors they have already begun, then we cannot waste time to collect our precious things. We have to evacuate the room immediately, the building immediately, and we have to move out in open. And we have to remember that we should not take the lift. We should immediately drop to the ground and take the cover our head, cover our face, and we should stay away from all the windows and the glasses. Now we can stay in the bed when the earthquake it has strike, and we can hold the head with the pillow, cover it with the pillow. After the earthquake that has occurred, then we have to check ourselves whether the injury it has occurred or not, or maybe check someone else whether the injury to them has occurred or not. Remember to stay out of the damaged building. Remember to be careful around the broken glass. Be careful of the chimneys if it is there. Stay away particularly from the damaged area. Fire. Now fire, it is a man-made disaster. Irrespective of the causes, the after effects of the fire, they are very diverse and they require immediate attention, intervention methods and techniques that can be adapted to contain the fire. Now what can be done? There are certain preventive methods to avoid the fires. If it is electric, then most important rule is not to use water. If it is the kitchen area, then we have to remove the pan that may catch the fire. If it is the smoking, then cigarette ash in the ashtray, we have to remember it to dispose it of in a proper manner. Now what are the safety measures that can be taken in case the fire that has occurred? Now before the fire, we can conduct the fire drills, we can plan out the evacuation routes. Families, they should have the proper evacuation routes, and then fire alarms can be there, fire extinguishers, it can be installed both in home and in outside, maybe in the offices and all. During the time of the fire, we have to look around to find the exit if it is there. We cannot inhale lot of the smoke. We avoid to touch any of the electrical appliances, and we can use the blanket to cover ourselves. After the fire, we check for the people around us, we check our surroundings. We will not go back to retrieve any of the items. Now, once the fire it is contained, then we have to listen to the instruction that is given by the firefighter for the further plan of action, if it has to be taken or not. Now, let us go through the role of the government in the disaster management. See, at the time of the accident when it has occurred, many of the untrained people, those who are the onlookers, they might be there who might want to help it, but actually they are not the trained one. So at this time period, we require the trained people some authority to take control and take the instant decision. So this is where government it comes in. Now, over the past many years, government of India has brought about a great shift in the approach to disaster management. Now, disaster management, it occupies very important role in the country's policy framework, and immediate help that can be given to the underprivileged or those who are worst affected on the account of the disasters. Disaster Management Act 2005, it defines the disaster as a catastrophic mishap, calamity or grave occurrence in any area arising from the natural or man-made causes or by accident or negligence, which results in substantial loss of life or human suffering or damage to and destruction of poverty or damage to or degradation of environment, and is of such a nature or magnitude that has to be beyond the coping capacity of the community of the affected area. So we have to take care of the people, their basic needs, because the total fabric of their normal functioning life, daily routine, it has been stopped. So our government, it enacted and notified the Disaster Management Act 2005 on December 26, 2005 to provide for the institutional mechanisms for drawing up and monitoring the implementation of the disaster management plans. Now, what were the objectives of this Disaster Management Act? Now, this act, it provides for the effective management of the disaster. It looks out for the institutional mechanisms, monitoring of the implementations, like whatever the recommendation is that it has been given out by the government, whether it has been properly implied at the time of the disaster or not. Then the act, it also ensures the measures of the various wings of the government, like the various department of the government, so for the prevention and the mitigation of the disaster. Then the act, it also provides for the constitutional differences of the executive committee at the national and state level, and it also provides for the specific roles of the local bodies in the disaster management. Let us go through the government's approach to disaster management. Now, change in the orientation from the relief centric approach to the holistic approach, that is what is required, so that proper relief and the rehabilitation mechanism, it can reach out actually to the people. Then the creation of many of the institution, their proper running both at the state and the national level, so that proper relief that can be given out at the time of the natural hazard. Now, role of the government at the national level. At the national level, the Ministry of the Home Affairs function 24/7 to monitor the disaster or the potential disaster scenario. At the national level, separate branch called National Disaster Response Force, it has been created out. Now, role of the state government. At the state level, Chief Minister or Chief Secretary of the state, he is the responsible one. At the role of the government at the district level, district magistrate and the deputy commissioner together, they will coordinate the functioning and supervise the relief work. There are various nodal agencies for the disaster management, like for the flood, Ministry of the Water Resources; for cyclone, Indian Meteorological Department; for earthquakes, Indian Meteorological Department; for epidemics, Ministry of the Health and Family Welfare, so and all. Like all the ministries, they are involved in one or the other type of the natural or the man-made disaster. Role of the non-government organizations or the NGOs. For the larger relief agencies, NGOs, the main response is to provide the material relief and to give out the rescue operations at the time of the disaster. Now it is followed by the longer period of the reconstruction activities that might take place, like building up of the roads, houses, community building and all. Maybe the water facilities that needs to be construction again, or for the medical aid that has to be given. So most of the larger Indian agencies, they have to stay back in the disaster prone area to mitigate disaster. Local NGOs, they also participate in the relief and the reconstruction activities. Now children, in the book, the case studies that is given, so please go through that case studies. That is case study of floods in Assam, and like what was done to contain, and what were the effects and impacts of the flood. And the another case study that is given of the earthquake in Nepal, like certain of the causes they are given there, and then again the effects and impacts of Nepal earthquake. Then one more case study, that is of the oil spill in the coastal areas of the United States, that is given. So that is also the example, you can go through it. Thank you children.